Vape Nation?
And 6 for good measure.
What are you doing? Is the snow really high? So I'm out here cleaning off some cars. Oh, can't even get it in frame. Just thought I would show you how ridiculous the snowfall has been. These cars were cleaned off pretty much completely like 3 days ago. And this is how deep it is on the MR2. And because the MR2 is small, it doesn't even really get as much as other cars. So that's a solid, I'd call it 8 inches on top of this car. And then of course the MR2, not really designed for winter, but the hood is back here, shall we say. The bonnet, the trunk lid, so yeah, there's like a solid, I don't know, 13 to 15 inches on the back there because it gets caught in between the wing and the back window. And same with the 2002 WRX over here, which I've been keeping clean so I can work on it soon. After I clean off the cars, I'm gonna go back in and work on the RS more, but yeah, you can see again, this is completely cleaned off. Oh, I forgot there's roof racks. So that's a solid, that's definitely, it's hard to show you on camera really. I would definitely call that at least basically a foot on the roof. So yeah, just figured I'd show you real quick. Nava, come here. What you got? What you got? Yeah. Ooh, so strong. She's such a good dog. Come here, be nice. Come here, be nice. Yeah, good girl. Good little baby. All right, back to car work. All right, you can see I went to town cleaning off the old MR2. Looking a lot better. Same with the 02 WRX. I still got to clean out around them a little bit more, but at least there's a path. This is just a lot of snow. Wasn't quite expecting it. But on the other hand, the 93 is looking real nice. And I love this color. I know that it's still hard to see because the car is real dirty. I would love to wash it right now, but unfortunately it's only like 13 degrees. It's supposed to be in the 20s and then high 30s even like Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So I'll probably try to wash it then, but you know, there's some clear coat issues and whatnot, but like, I don't know, this purple, the amethyst metallic or plum metallic is so cool. All right, now really on to car work.
What's up, folks? Welcome back to the garage in the 802 where the days are short and the project cars are endless, except the 2.5 RS with the JDM WRX swap is really close to being done. So just a real quick recap. Yesterday, I actually went to the movies with my family, and then I went to my aunt's house and helped shovel their driveway, which is longer than ours. So absolutely exhausted me. Got back when it was dark. I went to bed early and still woke up late today, but I did get a bunch of work done. Real quick, snap to the montage. I bled the brakes. First, of course, I sucked the old fluid out of the reservoir, although it honestly did not look that bad. I also vacuumed out just a whole bunch of seed pods in the engine bay and on the windshield, since this thing is going to move very soon. Then I went and used my custom little technique to bleed brakes, where I use a big old syringe and a rubber tube. I put it over the bleeder, crack it open, and then I can just pretty much pump the brakes freely, because as long as the seal is good on the tube to the bleeder, no air can get back in, and all it does is push fluid into the syringe and then suck new fluid from the master cylinder. I haven't had any issues with this technique yet, and as far as I can tell, it never reintroduces any air. Plus, if I really want to, I can go back behind the car, pull on the syringe, and suck a little bit more out, and when I close up the bleeder, I can pull on it so I don't spill fluid anywhere. But of course, this car is a massive pile of junk, and so it did put up a fight. The bleeder on the passenger side of the car broke pretty easily. It felt like it was coming free, but really it was just automatically twisting the metal and it broke off. Luckily, I do have my left-handed drill bits, the Irwin bits that I got for Christmas. If you guys haven't seen my little bit on those, I'll put a link to a video in the upper corner where I show a bunch of really useful time-saving tools that I got for Christmas. But basically, I used the smallest left-handed drill bit first, then the next size up, got it really nice and clean real fast, and then I did use my Vermont American extractors. I didn't even mean to accentuate the Vermont American there, but that is the brand. I'll actually put a link to those in the description if any of you need a good set of extractors, because these have been really good for me. I feel like the square straight flute profile helps a lot with getting out bolts. I feel like it doesn't expand the fastener as much and get it stuck in the hole more, and they seem to grip pretty well. So I got out that old broken bleeder pretty easily and then replaced it. Luckily, I had a couple of the correct bleeders on hand, and that all went smooth enough, I guess. I've certainly had much worse. The brakes didn't really seem to have any air in them, but nonetheless, they have more fresh fluid in the lines. And by the way, if you wonder why I started with the rear left, when a lot of people will tell you to start with the brake furthest from the driver's seat, well, it's because the ABS unit is actually in the front right of this car, front passenger side, and you should really start by bleeding with the brake that is furthest from the ABS unit, because that's going to have the longest line in the car as opposed to whichever brake caliper is furthest from the master cylinder. Just like to give these tips in the videos because a lot of you seem to appreciate them in the comments, so there's another one for you. You got to watch out for them modern ABS units. I also filled the rear differential. I figured it'd be easier to do now before the exhaust was on and before it was back on the ground with the wheels and tires on. Nothing in my way, nice and high, and you are supposed to fill it until it comes out of the fill plug, but I know that it takes 0.8 liters according to the service manual, so I just took a brand new bottle of Walmart Super Tech 75 W90 synthetic, which is supposed to be pretty good according to all my research, and I put in 0.8 liters of it until I was down to just below the 200 milliliter line, and the diff should be all set and ready to go. And then of course I did torque it down. Oh, and one other thing I did was secure the rear bumper sides to the rear fenders because it was super jank before, held in place by a big screw on one side and a big old long self-tapper on the other side. There used to be more self-tappers, but they all went MIA, who knows. So here's some clips of me fixing that. Look at this. I'm just trying to fit this fender up. I mean, big hole back there to some of the evap equipment. But yeah, I was just hammering this up a little bit because it was like way bent down, and that's how much rust came out just from a few hammers. Let's see if I can have a little more impact. Yep, just some more. Oh, there you go. Flaked off a little bit of that crappy Bondo job too. I just don't understand why somebody bothered to replace this panel if they were, I don't know, you know? It's a weird thing. Here's all the rust that fell out. Woo! All right, well there you go. I did get the rear bumper hanging up a lot better there. Just kind of put in some Subaru hardware, put some lube on it, but holds it pretty steady. Just did the same thing on this side. The funny thing is, it really wasn't that much more effort to just, you know, drill a hole and actually put a bolt through it. So I don't know why they went with self-tappers, but, you know, I guess the car is a pile of junk. After that, I did move on to the exhaust, which wasn't that hard to put on. But again, I went on a quest for hardware because the hardware I did have was absolute trash. So I found some decent grade 8.8 bolts that I got from the hardware store. I put some nickel anti-seize on them because that is the highest heat anti-seize I have available. It's even higher heat than copper, I believe. Coated it up, tightened it up, and, well, this is where we're at. The exhaust is actually back on the car, which basically means it's ready to go back on the ground. There's just one issue. Well, technically there are two issues. First of all, there's this hanger back here, which you would have seen me break off in a previous video. It was welded really shoddily right up in there. So obviously that bungee cord is not going to suffice. Or, you know, I mean, it could. I'm not really opposed to just rocking that bungee cord. Seems like it would work. Let's see, right? Oh, yeah. I mean, come on. That's skookum as frig. Better than the rest of the car, right? Nah, but for real, the other problem is this hanger, which someone modified to have this pseudo axle back work on the car. Obviously, there used to be a hanger over there, and instead they put a hanger over here, and that was to line up with the RS subframe, but now that it has a JDM WRX subframe, well, it doesn't line up with the hanger, which is sad because it originally would have, since this exhaust was for a turbo car. So I think all I'm going to do is actually just put a little extension from here to here so that this rubber hanger can hang on to it, because you can see the clearance here is pretty tight and I don't want it knocking on that, and in the past it has been knocking a lot right there on the drive shaft shield. So I'm gonna try to suspend it so it doesn't do either of those things, but it is put together up there. Oh yeah, there's my camera's still down there ready to film in time lapse. But so with that, let's at least start it up with the exhaust on it so you can hear it. We're just gonna hope that the battery is not dead. No dice, Grandma. Let me get the jump pack. Guess I shouldn't have closed the hood. Take two. Nope, jump pack gave up early. Take three. Quiet on the set. Action. Well, I will say, it's very, very cold still, so I'm not surprised it's having trouble. Love it and raise no quitter. Oh, so close. Jesse. I believe in you. Let's make sure all the accessories are off. Oh, damn it! I almost saved it. Subaru you want a Subaru to be, you know what I'm saying? Alright, I'm gonna turn this thing off. Oh. Woo. Good call on opening the garage door, people. I appreciate you. So, Vape Nation. That is, of course, a joke, by the way. I don't vape, nor do I think I will ever, because, I don't know, I was going to say something rude, but if any of you vape, whatever, it's your choice, just not my style. So all that's left is fixing those exhaust hangers, putting the wheels and tires on. Well, I really do need to swap on the winter tires before I try to hoon this thing at all, but I want to try to make the next video where this thing moves kind of cool, so I will try to put a little bit of effort into making that nice and fun. And by the way, I did start a TikTok, if any of you care. So 802 Garage on TikTok should be pretty easy to find. I'm planning to make a funny video on the first time this car moves to put as my first video on TikTok, so if you want to follow on there, I don't know, I won't lie, I have fun watching a lot of TikTok videos. It'd be cool to make something that gets popular on there. No, I'm not hip like the young kids with their you know, TikTok and mama rock and what have ya. Oh my God, I think I actually just confirmed that I am in fact 50 years old. But it was supposed to be a joke. At any rate, I think it'll be fun. Apparently a lot of people can get a good following on there and get some people to come watch YouTube channels, and that's what I'm all about. As always, I would have liked to have gotten more done, but like I said, I was pretty much out of the house all day yesterday, and as you saw in the beginning of this video, I did a bunch of shoveling here, as well as all the shoveling yesterday, so my body is tired as usual, but at least the car is almost ready, and I know the exhaust at least mounts back up, so it should be pretty easy to just kind of tack some rusty hangers in place and call it a day, and then whip this thing out of the garage for all of our delight. Thank you so much for watching 802 Garage, where of course the project cars are endless, but this stage of this build, at least, I'm pretty much gonna call it a project, is finished. Thanks everybody, catch you soon.
Bye-bye. Thanks for the SR20. Have a wonderful time.